There's a certain kind of loneliness that doesn't just look like loneliness. It's an erasure. It's the knowing, cold, primal terror of realizing that if you vanished tonight, your life would not leave a ripple. Your boss wouldn't notice for 2 days. Your friends would see your read receipts go gray and just assume you were busy. You are the ghost at the banquet. You are surrounded by people, but you are not with them. You were an invisible man, hiding behind a performance of laughter, of productivity, of the phrase, "I'm just busy lately." But deep down, there's an ache, a cold spot, the constant, humming realization that no one really knows you. That if something incredible or something terrible happened, there is no one to call. This isn't just sadness. This is a primal death sentence. The original script tells you this triggers the same regions associated with physical pain. Let's call it what it is. Your brain, the ancient reptilian hardware that evolved in a tribe, is screaming at you. It is broadcasting a single, terrified, biological message. You are outside the tribe. You are alone. The lions are coming. This loneliness isn't just like physical pain. It is pain. It is the sound of your own survival instinct going into a panic. And you're told that people who have no friends are cold or antisocial. That is a convenient nursery school lie. Let's talk about the truth. Let's talk about the Judas contract that put you here. You weren't born this way. You were forged this way. You were forged by 1,000 small betrayals. You did trust someone. You did open yourself up. You shared something personal, something real. And they laughed, or they looked away. Or worse, they used it. You trusted a gesture with a secret, and he used it as a punchline to get a laugh from the tribe. You trusted a siren with your vulnerability, and she used it as a weapon to test your boundaries, to see how much she could control you. You showed your authentic self, and the martyr in your life made you feel guilty for having needs. And your brain, your survival machine, learned the lesson. It learned it so well that it carved it into your bones. Vulnerability is a liability. Connection is a trap. It is safer to be a ghost. So you retreated. This wasn't a single dramatic decision. It was a slow, quiet calcification. You stopped reaching out. You stopped initiating. You told yourself, "I prefer solitude." You told yourself it was strength. You told yourself you were a king, alone on your throne, above the petty games of the tribe. This is the great lie you built to protect yourself. You are not a king in exile. You are a prisoner in a fortress of your own making. And at first, that fortress felt safe. It gave you control. It gave you space. But you have been in that fortress for years. And the silence that once felt like healing has turned into a hunting. The silence is no longer peaceful, it is deafening. Because you are not alone in that fortress. You are trapped in a room with the Shadow Council. Your internal dialogue, the one that used to be your voice, is now a screaming committee of your past failures. You are in a constant, looping trial, prosecuting yourself for every sunk cost. You replay old friendships, old betrayals, old conversations. You are the star of a psychological drama that never, ever ends. Where did it all go wrong? It was my fault. I'm too much. I'm not interesting enough. This is what psychologists call learned social helplessness, a soft academic term for a brutal reality. You tried to connect, you were rejected, and so you stopped trying. You have associated reaching out with the certainty of pain. So now, even when a good person comes along, someone kind, someone open, your armor is up. You are a king who has forgotten how to lower the drawbridge. You yearn for that one person who gets it, but your very presence screams, "Stay away."
You have become a shadow. This is the most terrifying part. This loneliness, it's not a costume. It has become you. You perform life. You smile. You work. You post the happy photos. You have built a high-functioning, successful avatar, but you are not in it. You are a ghost, watching your own life from the outside. You think you are protecting yourself. You think your armor is keeping you safe. But here is the cliffhanger. Here is the brutal truth that will keep you awake tonight. The fortress you built to survive is your tomb. The armor you put on to protect your heart has calcified it. You are no longer protecting yourself from pain. You are preventing yourself from living. You are not safe. You are buried alive. And there is only one way out. It is not healing. It is not self-care.
I left you in the dark, in the cold, in the fortress you built that has become your tomb. You are the ghost at the banquet, the king in exile. You are buried alive under the armor of your independence, suffocating from the safety you so desperately created. You are the shadow, the man who performs life but feels nothing. The original script tells you that prolonged isolation reduces empathy, that it's a muscle that weakens. This is a lie. Your empathy didn't weaken. You murdered it. You killed it because it was too painful to feel. You chose to become numb because in your martyr's logic, it was better to be a high-functioning, fine corpse than to be a living man who could be hurt again. Your emotional numbness is not a necessity. It is a choice. It is the final victory of your shadow. And now you are trapped in the ultimate paradox. The man who is terrified of connection is the only one who truly craves it. You romanticize it. You analyze it. You look for meaning in a passing smile from a stranger. Why? Because when you are starving, you will worship a crumb. This is the martyr's trap, and it fuels the jester's anxiety. The original script calls this hypervigilance, that you overanalyze text messages, that you assume disinterest. Let's call it what it is. You have a military-grade radar for human behavior. You can read the micro-expressions. You can feel the energy shift. This is a superpower that you are using against yourself. Instead of using your radar like a king to filter out the jesters, the martyrs, and the sirens, you are using it like a slave. You are using it to hunt for proof of your own unworthiness. This is the self-fulfilling loop that the original script identified. You expect rejection, so you project insecurity. And your insecurity is what causes the rejection. You have become the prophet of your own destruction. And the cost of this, the sunk cost, is your past. But the opportunity cost is your entire future. The original script says loneliness alters time perception, that days blend together. This is the most brutal truth of all. You are not living in the present. You are a ghost haunting the past, replaying the sunk costs of every betrayal, every Judas contract. Or you are fleeing into the future, a fantasy of the one person who will come and save you. Your life, your one and only life, is the present moment, and you are never in it. The fortress is a tomb. The armor is a cage. The king is in exile. Now for the war. You cannot heal your way out of this. You cannot smile back at strangers. You cannot allow life to touch you. That is the language of the martyr. The cure for the king's exile is not gentle self-acceptance. It is a violent act of self-reclamation. Step 1. You must kill the martyr. This is the grief work. You must stop being fine. You must stop protecting the feelings of the ghosts who betrayed you. You must finally feel the rage, the pure, white-hot, righteous rage for the man you could have been. You must grieve the friendships you settled for. You must grieve the crumbs you accepted and called a feast. You must burn the identity of the nice guy who finishes last because he never even runs the race. Step 2. You must rebuild your kingdom. The original says self-trust must exist. This is sovereignty. This is the king's work. You stop chasing the tribe. You stop begging to be let back in. You become the tribe. You build your own kingdom based on your mission. You take your focus, which has been leaking into the past, and you aim it at your body, at your purpose, at your finances. You build a life so strong, so real, so full that your own company is no longer a punishment, it is a privilege. Step 3. You must weaponize your weakness. Your sensitivity? That is not weakness. That is your radar. Start using it like a king. Use it to filter. Your loneliness? That is not weakness. That is your standard. It is the proof that you will not settle for the gestures and the shadows anymore. You are no longer craving the crowd. You are holding out for the council. You stop waiting to be found. You stop hoping to be seen. You build. You become so sovereign, so real, so grounded in your own mission that your presence, your gravity, your peace becomes the bridge. And one day you will sit across from someone and you will see it in their eyes. The same stillness, the same depth, the same scars. But this time, you will not meet them with the desperation of a martyr or the anxiety of a jester. You will meet them with the calm, the gravity, and the absolute unshakable power of a king who has returned from his war. A king who knows his own value because he forged it himself in the dark, in the silence, in the tomb he tore down with his own bare hands. The ghost is gone. The king is home.